Recently, I got to talk to Patrick Bet-David for 15 minutes, and he was kind enough to give me some advice that I believe is going to change my life and the future of this YouTube channel. The reason I was even in the position to talk to him was because I was at an event called Grow with Video Live, where I was speaking in front of over 1,000 people here in Las Vegas. It was hosted by Sean Cannell and the Think Media team. If you have no idea who they are, they're huge YouTubers. They've got over 2 million subs now, and they teach other people how to create content. And they've been very crucial for helping me create content, which I'll talk about here in a sec. But at this event, they had many different speakers like Gary Vee, Patrick Bet-David, Alex Hormozi, and a ton of others. And when I go to speak at events, one of the key things I look for is who else is speaking, because if I get the chance to talk to one of those people behind the scenes, it can drastically change my life. I'm not so concerned about how much somebody's paying me to speak on stage or if I can promote or not. I'm really concerned about the network I'm building and the people that I can meet at those events. Now, going into this event, I had 2 people I really want to talk to. One was Gary and one was Patrick, mainly because I've never spoken to them before and I don't know the next time I'd get to see them. Now, I did get to talk to Patrick, obviously, and unfortunately, I did not get to talk to Gary, or else I would tell him all about Tykes NFT and why I dyed my hair green and all the other stuff that we got going on. But beyond the point, I'll get to talk to Gary at one of these events one of these days. But nonetheless, I'm not even worried about it because the advice Patrick gave me was worth everything I could have ever imagined. And you guys are gonna see it here in the coming months, what kind of changes we're making because of the advice. So I went up and introduced myself to Patrick. I assumed he didn't know anything about me. You know, most of these guys who are creating content like him aren't really watching other people's stuff because they're so busy creating their own content and running their own businesses. So I told him a little bit about what I'm doing in real estate, you know, what I've got going on social media and my other businesses, and you know, he was really impressed. So initially, Patrick was taking pictures with all of the people at the event, and I went and took a picture myself, just introduced myself as one of the speakers, and you know, we shook hands, took a picture, and that was kind of the end of it. And I didn't really expect to see him again because he was in a really big rush to get to his next appointment and you know, all these things. And typically backstage with some of these really big guys like him and Gary, that's just kind of how it is. They don't really have time to talk and you know, get to know other people. Like they're always in and out of these things, and you know, they're being paid big bucks to do it. They've got really big business to run, so I totally get it. I didn't want to like take up too much of his time or anything. I just wanted to make an introduction, put a face to the name, and then maybe down the road we could end up doing something if he remembered me. Well, after taking the picture, he proceeded to leave, and then all of a sudden I thought that was the end of it. Well, about 5 minutes later, he ends up coming back out to take pictures with people that were missed, which also goes to show to his character. He made sure that every single person who was promised a picture got one, even though they kind of missed on their own. And with that, it actually opened up the opportunity for me. I was standing next to my friend Ruslan, who knew Adam, Patrick's co-host on the PBD podcast, and he said, Pat, like you got to talk to Ryan. Like Ryan's the real deal, and you guys could do a lot of stuff together. So, you know, Pat starts asking me like, hey Ryan, what do you got going on? Like, tell me about your business, your social media, all that stuff. And so, you know, I tell him about all the businesses I own, you know, the real estate deals we're doing, and, you know, kind of what I've done on social media the last couple of years. And he was really impressed. At that point, now he kind of understands what I got going on. And so, you know, he's willing to give me some advice as a mentor. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, his advice really was life-changing. He basically said that at Valuetainment, you know, he has taken breaks every step of the way in order for Valuetainment to kind of revamp and redo itself, and also for him to just recharge and take a break and, you know, hit the ground running when they started back up. So he said at 500,000 subscribers, they took a break. And then I think around 1 or 1.5 million subscribers, they took another break. And then recently he took another break around 3 million subscribers before starting back up. Now, his breaks are very long. I mean, he said like he takes breaks for a month, like he won't produce content for months. And like the thought of doing that for me is really scary, right? Like you spend all of this time creating content, trying to build momentum, you know, build a following and all this stuff. And, you know, the saying goes as a creator, if you just stop making content, you kind of like die. You know, that's kind of the reality of it. Most creators don't do that. They're just always going. But for him, he said that the opposite was true, that by taking a break, it actually made him so much better. And for me, this actually makes sense, right? Like I'm a big proponent of not working on the weekends and, taking time off, being out of the office at 5. And so like, I'm very much like into rest, recharging, spending time with your family, regrouping. So I totally believe in that. But, I've never thought about taking 4 months off from content or even a month off to really do that. So that was kind of shocking, but he said, look, Ryan, as you grow your influence, you are going to hit plateaus. You're gonna hit a plateau at some point, and whatever got you to that point will not get you above that point, right? Because whatever you were doing to get there has pretty much like reached the end of that lifespan. And he basically said, you're gonna have to end up going broader if you wanna have bigger influence and bigger impact. Like there's only so many people that are interested in real estate. There's only so many people that are interested in maybe taxes or social media, right? Like it's kind of a smaller niche. And so you got to figure out what you want to do to go broad. But the only way to really do that is by taking a step back, analyzing, which of your content did best, kind of maybe doubling down on that, maybe figuring out how you could do your videos in a completely different way, and then reaching the masses by going broad in different ways like that. And I started to think about it and I said, yeah, I think for the last year, I haven't really thought too hard about content. I know other creators are very intentional with it, right? Like they think of their topics, they script it out. Like I had my buddy Graham Stephan on the show for my podcast, and he was saying it takes him like 20 hours to do one video. Whereas for me, it like takes me maybe an hour to do a video. Like I literally just like get some bullet points, I just film it and I'm done. And I don't really research topics because I just pretty much share life experiences and things that I'm going through or things that are happening in my business. So, making content has been easier for me, but the downfall has been I'm not intentional with it. And so it just reverts back to whatever it is I'm doing and I know, and it works, but there's definitely a plateau. If you just look at any of my follower and subscriber growth, it's definitely plateauing. And so I have the choice, like continue to do it and just slowly grind out anyone and everyone who's interested in real estate investing and like my current form of content, or switch it up to open up to a more massive level. And, do I want to take a break in order to find those answers? Like that was the biggest question. For Patrick's advice, he said what he said, and, he gave very good reasons for it. He said as an entrepreneur, it's very tough to, kind of create content and do business, right? Like he still works 80-hour work weeks, whereas I do not. Like I still just don't want to go that hard. I would rather spend time with family. I'd rather golf. I would rather, serve and go on vacation. Like if my businesses and my social media don't grow as fast because I go do all these things, I'm cool with that. But, the reality has been my social media and my businesses have grown really fast, even while doing that. And I think they both play a hand in why they're growing so quick. Patrick put this in great perspective, and my friend Brad Lee also said the same thing. He said, dude, you know how long it took us to get Valuetainment and our brands to where yours currently is? Like you did it in 2 years. It took us like 5 years, 7 years to get there. And so like the fact that you're moving so fast in your businesses and in your personal brand is like really crazy, but you need to take a break and kind of reevaluate what you want to do because, you're going to plateau. And so I've thought about this question a lot the last week since we talked. And, I called up my good buddy, Sean Cannell, who ran that event. And so Sean has been very helpful. Him, Omar, everyone at the Think Media team. And I said, hey, dude, this is what Patrick told me. What do you think? And he said, Patrick's really the only one who takes breaks like that, but I do agree that you need to think about switching up your content, right? Like who you were 2 years ago when you first started YouTube is not who you are today. And you have so many new things going on. And Sean goes, dude, if I was you, I would be doing what Gary Vee does with the Daily V. And, he's like, that is really like where your life is headed. He's like, you're speaking on stages, you're looking at apartments and all these things, you're, running all these businesses behind the scenes at your office, and like you have all these people on your podcast, like there's all these interactions happening behind the scenes that people never hear because they're not on camera, but they're such good content, not only for YouTube, but they would be great for TikTok and Instagram and stuff as well. And he goes, dude, I would just hire somebody to film you all the time while you're at business, catch those behind the scenes moments, turn them into vlogs like the Daily V. And I think that's how you reach the masses. And I think that's how you break the plateau, because there's not really anyone else doing it besides Gary. If you look at every other finance YouTuber or real estate person, like for the most part, most people are doing, how-to talking head videos, pretty much like what I've been doing to this point. But very few are doing vlog style. It's just different. It works, especially with, having a life that is entertaining. But, through the entertainment, people will learn a lot because of the conversations and the interactions. And so, I thought about that, and, I said, that makes complete sense. I actually really like that idea because it's actually less work for me. I don't have to go script and be intentional with creating content. Like, it's just, I am the content. Like, you're filming me just being me, like on a daily basis. And it's funny because Brad Lee, who makes great content, he has a great podcast, he has great Instagram Reels and TikToks. He basically said that. I got him to speak at my last Future Flipper event, and he goes, hey guys, when you're trying to make content, build a personal brand, just understand, like, you don't need to go make content. You are the content. That was pretty much his main message. And it didn't resonate with me because I've never really thought that way. I like to intentionally make content because that's what's worked for me for the last 2 years. But now, the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I think I am the content. I think that will be way more entertaining for everyone involved, and it's less work for me. It's just like, having somebody film what I actually do. Going based on the advice of Sean, Patrick Bet-David, Brad Lee, and others, and running this idea by other people, that is going to be something we are doing. I don't have a name for the series yet, so if you have a name for the series, comment below, because I'm looking for names, and I want to just figure out what a cool vlog would be called. So I would love to hear it in the comments, and if we pick your name, maybe we'll give you a special prize, something like that. But yeah, that's going to be a very big thing for the channel that is going to be different. And I think you guys are going to really enjoy the interactions and things that are happening on a daily basis here at my office, at these events I speak at these places I'm going. So I think that's going to be great. We're also going to be doing more dynamic things in the field. So one thing Sean also recommended was looking at what Gary Vee did with Trash Talk. For those unfamiliar, Gary Vee basically goes garage selling and like buys a bunch of stuff from the garage sales and flips them and stuff. And if you know my story, I love it. Like I grew up as a couch flipper, I flipped furniture, I flipped everything in between. Like I know how to garage sale flip too. And I have this series called Flip Nation where I highlight these other side hustle businesses, right? We've done sneaker flipping, clothes flipping, Turo, Airbnb, couch flipping, like so many different side hustles. And I love it. And it's super relatable. Many of you probably found my channel from those side hustle videos. So I definitely want to get to doing more of that, which in reality is kind of back to doing vlogs. It's just a more dynamic type content versus these talking heads. So, expect to see more of that. Expect to see vlogs. And, also we are revamping my podcast. So we are going to be renaming it to the Wealthy Way Podcast. I'm very passionate about the Wealthy Way. It's, something that I'm going all in on for helping people. We're also going to be releasing a brand new course that's completely for free at the Wealthy Way. It's going to be called our Business Builder Academy, where I teach people how I built so many 7-figure businesses and like how to do it step by step. So I think that's going to be an awesome academy. You can get our current one called the Wealth Builder Academy at wealthyway.com. Everything there is completely free. But the reason I'm revamping the podcast is because I want to have a more diverse group of guests, in all areas of life. Like I want to have health experts. I want to have faith experts, family experts, business experts still. And, interview like the best of the best people so that people can, live the wealthy way. But with that podcast, we are going to be doing more. We're going to be live streaming some. I don't live stream at all currently. So I think doing live stream Q&As is going to be something I'm really passionate about. That's, is going to do really well, and I can talk more on current events and things that are happening on a live basis, because if you're not aware, like a lot of my content I film is weeks in advance. Like we work on a schedule where, you know, I'm usually 2 to 3 weeks early on the content I'm filming, just so we're always ahead. But with the live streams, that gives us the ability to kind of talk about trending things that are happening right now. And we're building a whole new studio for the podcast. Like it's gonna be really epic. And as we revamp that, I think we will use a bunch of the clips from the podcast and post them on my main channel. And you know, basically be able to provide so much more content on the main channel, but also so much different content than what you've seen thus far. You know, I just think it will help show the journey of kind of where I've come from and where I'm headed as an entrepreneur and as a content creator. I think it'll give you guys a very good look behind the scenes of what's actually happening in these business deals, in these real estate deals. When I meet all these people who, you know, want to make content or do things, like I think the behind the scenes is going to be something that you guys really enjoy, that is different. Nobody really has it. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm just thankful that Patrick gave me the advice, because if he didn't, you know, I would still be doing the same thing. Like I wouldn't be, you know, making this move and this switch. Like I'd just be kind of going on the same track. So super grateful to Patrick. You know, and it's funny, after talking, he DM'd me on Instagram and he basically said, hey dude, like I could tell in your eyes that you're pretty tired, right? So it might be good to just recharge and take a break. And I've really thought about this. And, you know, on one hand, you know, he told me that while I've been on a coffee fast. I'm not joking. I'm on a 30-day coffee fast. I think he caught me on day like 6. So yeah, my energy levels aren't as good as they used to be, but I'm excited to kind of detox away from coffee and alcohol. But along with that, you know, I don't really work that many hours. You know, I'm working Monday to Thursday and I take the weekends off and I golf Friday. So I don't think it's a work issue, but I do think he is correct in that I am more burnt out on doing the style of content I've been doing. You know, I think that it is time for a change. And, you know, I don't think I'm gonna take the advice of like taking time off from content and, you know, not posting anything. I think I'm ready right now and I'm energized to do this new style of content, because I'm really excited about it. We have so many things in the works that is just, you guys have no idea about, and being able to share behind the scenes is gonna be something that I'm super excited about. And even watching this video, right? Like I've just been kind of talking, you know, there's no script, and I like that. I like that style of content better because it's easier for me to make and it's more raw, it's more authentic, it's less scripted, and I think you guys are gonna benefit from it as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I think you're gonna enjoy the future of the channel. Super excited, and I'm glad to have you as a subscriber, one of the OGs as a subscriber, and hopefully, you know, as we go to 1 million, you'll be able to look back and say, yeah, you know, I remember when Ryan did that, and then, you know, now he's doing this and it just exploded, and you know, that's the goal. So hopefully we make it happen. Hopefully I can continue to bring you guys a ton of value and switch it up. So thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll see ya. Peace.